Hello and welcome to another video by Johnny. Chào mừng các bạn một video khác của Johnny nha. So in this video, I'll be doing an IELTS speaking practice, a regular one with my student. We have only 3 students in class today, and Miss Yuan has muted her microphone. Okay, she's
sorry.
there. She's there, back. I know it. And I think 2 other students are coming soon, but we should not wait for them. We should continue our practice now. So, let's do part 1 first, and the topic is 25, environmental protection, bảo vệ môi trường. So, tell me, Miss Yuan, do you do anything to protect the environment?
Yes, we live in the fourth era now, industrial revolution era.
Is the fourth industrial revolution, you mean?
Yes, this is I mean. So we are facing with polluted air, warming, global warming. Sorry. So I raise awareness and I start to use eco-friendly things like individual bottle and tote bag. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Is it called tote bags?
Tote bag.
Tote bags. Yes, tote bags are basically just cloth, you know, that made into the bag. Chỉ là vải tạo thành cái túi thôi. Okay, so Miss Quý, how about you? Do you do anything to protect the environment?
Yes, I do. I usually use my favorite bag to go to the market instead of using plastic one.
Me too.
Yeah, and I don't like to use anything related to the plastic. Yeah, for example, when I buy coffee or some soft drink, I usually take my mug or my bottle to buy and take it away.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about we have a lot of different things that humans often use, and we cannot really throw them away. Like, for example, tissue paper. What do you do with them? I mean, we have to use tissue paper after every meal, isn't it? So what do you do with them, Miss Kui?
In my opinion, with the tissue paper, we can collect into the one place and collect into. We can collect into one place, and then we fill it with the water.
Okay, it's paper, so it will slowly degrade. You mean? Right? It's slowly degrade.
And we can use it.
Sorry?
And we can use it for bón cây đó thầy.
And we can use it to feed the trees, or to basically use it as fertilizers for the plants. Phân bón cho cây, dùng nó như phân bón cho cây. Use it as fertilizers. Use it as fertilizers for plants.
Yeah, and this is the way that foreign people usually do at their home.
Foreign people?
Yes, foreign people use it at their home. It's a must.
Use it in their home.
In their home.
And do you know that banana, after you have eaten them, the banana peel, cái vỏ chuối.
Yes.
The banana peel. Banana peel is something that you peel out, vỏ chuối. After you have eaten it, you can just put it in water, and after a while, you can use it for feeding the plant, you know, making fertilizer for the plant, you know.
Yes, let me tell you my experience when I travel to Canada. This is a must that everyone in their home
Must do.
need to do this way. They have to separate the trash. For example, water and banana peel. They collect in one place and then fill up with the water. And after that, waiting for it slowly degrade. And then
waiting for it to slowly degrade. Waiting for it to slowly degrade.
And waiting for it to slowly degrade.
And then what happens?
And then use it as a fertilizer for the plant.
I see. And then use
not only banana peel, but also the other fruit as well.
Such as?
Apple.
Apple.
Yeah.
Orange.
Orange.
Grapes. Oranges.
Yes, oranges.
Yes, we can always do that, but the problem is it attracts mosquito. It attracts other bugs in there. Because, you know, fruit, after you have eaten it, it attracts fruit flies. Rồi rắn.
But they have special dustbin.
You mean there are special dustbin for them?
Yes. And the government deliver usually 3 dustbin for
3 different dustbin.
Each of house to separate the.
Now they have 3 different dustbin. One is organic. One is for organic trash.
The one is for recycle.
One is for glass. One is for paper, I think, and one is for plastic, I think. I think 4, not 3. Because metal, like you know, drink cans, metal.
I don't know the other place, but my experience in Canada is that there are 3.
Interesting. Because when I was in Hungary, they divided into 4. Or sometimes I can see 5.
Hungary? Oh, okay.
Now, so Mr. Yoon, please. Did you learn about environmental protection at school?
Well, yes, I have learned it. Have learned it at school. So I learned about how to protect it, how to plant trees to protect environment.
Protect the environment?
The environment. And 1 minute.
Of course, you have a minute. Okay, you have a minute already. Now, please continue. Did you do anything to protect the environment, Mr. Yu?
Maybe yes.
Maybe yes? What do you mean maybe yes? Please specify. Give examples.
Like after I use a plastic bag, I usually reuse it for some reason. Like checking food. And my mom have a lot of plastic bag, so she always reuse it many times until
it breaks.
It breaks, yes.
Until it breaks, yes. Okay, so Mr. Yoon, will you do anything in the future to protect the environment? Will you do anything in the future to protect the environment, Mr. Yu?
Well, I think I gonna. I'm going to be undistracted.
Mhm.
I'm going to be uh plant more tree,
Plan what?
Plan what?
more
More
tree.
tree.
Ah,
More
I'm just going to plant more trees. Where?
Maybe at my house or my gardens.
In my garden.
In my garden.
Mhm. Okay. So, Miss Yuan, please, would you like to work in a company related to environmental protection?
Of course. This will be a civilized company.
Oh,
Because
civilized company.
yes, because this care about the
They
environmental,
care.
because they care about environmental protection. And I know the environment directly affect our health and our spirits. And this also a crucial and dangerous problem now. So I totally enjoy working in this company.
You want to make a change, I know. So, how about you, Miss Kui? Would you like to work in a company related to environmental protection?
No, I don't, because that's not my passion.
It's not
Yes,
what
but
you train for. It's not what you study for. You mean?
yes, I don't work what
No, you have to say no. It's not. No, it's not. No, it's
No,
not.
it's not. And I don't want to work at any company that I don't study for. But
You mean you don't want to work for any company in which the
in which
subjects, in which the major I did not study for, mà trong đó cái ngành tôi không có học. In which the major I did not study for.
yeah,
Because the company, you do not study the company. You study the major, remember. Bạn học cái ngành chứ bạn không học cái công ty.
Okay. Please type for me. So
Sure.
I can, I can write
So
down.
I don't want to draw a company. I don't want to work for a company that in which or in which they do things I didn't study for. Tôi không muốn làm việc cho công ty mà trong đó họ làm những cái thứ tôi đã không có học. In which they do things I didn't study for.
I'm told I'm an environment lover, but I will have to protect my. But I'm willing to protect environment in my living place by using recyclable. Yeah, recycle bag, and starting with the habit of using any kind of paper instead of plastic. For example, plastic cup or plastic bag or any kind of takeaway boxes that's made from paper or sugar
That is
cane.
made from paper?
Yeah, that is made from paper or sugar cane.
Or, sorry, made from paper or
sugar cane, bã mía đó thầy.
Okay.
Sugar
cane from sugar cane.
Sugar cane.
So, tell me, Mr. Yoon, please, did you learn about environmental protection at school?
I think you asked this already.
Yes, but you did not answer it correctly.
So okay, so they taught me
They taught me
how to plant trees and classify the trash like bottles to reusable trash and paper. Ủa, không tái chế được là gì thầy?
or unrecyclable.
Unrecyclable. Unrecyclable.
Không tái chế được, unrecyclable. or unrecyclable items.
Oh, okay. And and teach me how to use the reusable materials, like you can reuse bottle for making toys if you don't have any toys and you're so poor, and plastic bag can reuse again to wipe some
Yes.
and to wipe some vegetable, and teach how to use đồ phân hủy được là gì thầy?
Đồ phân hủy được basically degradable.
Degradable.
Degradable items. Những vật dụng phân hủy được. Degradable. Degrade phân hủy thì degradable items, những vật dụng phân hủy được. So this is degradable items. Now, so continue please. So Mr. Young, do you think that do you think that what we are doing is enough to protect the environment, or do we need to do more? What do you think?
I think it's not enough, because now the environment still being polluted, and we still xả rác là gì? Mình quên rồi.
Say again.
Xả rác là gì thầy? Mình quên.
Litter. Littering. If they litter, to litter.
We still litter a lot. What makes environment still polluted, and some company when they product some good, they it still make environment polluted. So I think we need to make coi nghĩa đấy rồi hết rồi.
We need to make what?
Cái gì ta? We still need to plant more trees, and kêu gọi là gì thầy?
Well, and call for people's attention. Kêu gọi sự chú ý của mọi người. To do what? Call for people's attention to do what?
To about environment being polluted.
Call for people's attention that the environment is polluted now. We need to do more. Okay, now let's move on to 26 flowers. Nói về các loài hoa. So, Miss Quý, please, what kind of flowers do you like?
I like confetti flower. Hoa
Sorry?
giấy đó. Hoa giấy đó.
Is it confetti?
Yeah, confetti flower.
Is it called confetti? I have no idea what it is.
Confetti.
How can you write it, please?
It's not confetti. W-O-F.
W-O.
C-O, no. C-O. Sorry. C-O. F-E.
F-E.
Double T.
Confetti.
Yes, confetti flower.
Confetti.
flower. It's a confetti. I never know that this flower is called confetti flowers.
Wow.
Because I don't
Is
think it's confetti, isn't it?
Is it?
I
Is
think
it
it's something else. I think it's something else. It's not the thing we are looking at, I think.
Hoa giấy đó là giờ không biết tiếng Anh sao
Is it?
search ra.
Anyway, let's continue. So, have you planted any flowers, Miss Queen?
Yes, I have. But I prefer some plant with more leaf rather than a flower. In my coffee shop, I usually plant some green trees such as cái châu bá này.
I think it's called
Petal gì đó phải. Gần Miss Quý trồng những cái cây mà không ai thích hết trơn.
well, actually Toba is actually good. What's it called? I forgot. Monstera.
Monstera, alright.
Monstera deliciosa. It's a kind of huge plant that basically they are similar. Monstera kind of tree. Monstera
Tree.
Plants. These are plants. Basically there are different kind of monstera. Nó tùy vào cái chủng monstera nào, nó cũng đều gọi là trầu bà hết. Well, these are monstera.
Just general, it's monstera.
Yeah, monstera.
Because
We have
it's
monstera
easy to plant.
deliciosa. This one. Okay, you like monstera plants, and what else?
Confetti flower.
Fatty flowers, yes.
Rồi cây mấy cái cây lá xanh thôi, green tree leaves.
I mean, it's called greeny. I think it's called greeny leafy plants. Những cây mà nhiều lá xanh mướt. Những cây nhiều lá xanh mướt, greeny leafy plants.
Greeny leafy plants. Okay.
These are just like, you know, adjectives to describe the plants, but it's not a real name of the plant, of course.
It's just general.
Yeah.
It's okay. I like those kind of plant because it's very strong and can stand for the sunlight.
Can withstand the sunlight for many hours. Nhiều giờ.
Yes.
Có thể chịu đựng được cái ánh sáng mặt trời trong giờ. Can withstand the sunlight for many hours.
Can withstand the sunlight for many hours.
So
Yes.
tell me, do you like this plant? What's it called? Mother-in-law tongue. Lưỡi của mẹ chồng.
Là lưỡi hổ đúng không?
Yes.
Lưỡi hổ. Cái này là cái lưỡi hổ.
Cái lưỡi của mẹ chồng. It's Dracena. Dracena plant, or we call them
Dracena.
Oh,
It's easy to live as well. This kind of plant is very special. It can live inside a house as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And you can plant it outside as well. Do you need to bring them outside?
Yes, we need to.
But they are toxic to cats and dogs. You have to say that it's toxic to cats and dogs.
Oh. And
Because
for people
if they bite it, it's dangerous. You know, if they bite the leaves, it's dangerous.
Yes.
Cây này độc nha.
It's usually for the shops only. They buy it and put it in the shop for decoration only.
But it looks beautiful, don't you think?
Yeah, it looks beautiful and it's very strong. It needs
very hard, very strong leaf.
Yeah, very strong leaf.
And because it's toxic, so it has the ability to detoxify the air around your house. Nó độc hại cho nên nó có những cái chất thực sự dùng để mà nó khử độc cái không khí trong nhà. It can be used to detox your house. The same thing to Monstera plant, you know. You can use Monstera plant to detox your place too. Like for example this.
Yeah.
I have
It's easy
Monstera.
to live.
I have a bit of Monstera plant too.
You can put it in the water and it can live very long.
Exactly, it can survive for very, 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 very long time. So maybe the next plant I will get is Dracena. But you know, if you accidentally touch it, it hurts. Đụng vậy nó đau lắm không nào?
Đụng vô nó là bị dị ứng luôn đó.
Yes, because toxic. If you touch it and then you got hurt,
It's not good if your house have a bath.
That's
It's
why
not
they
good.
call it mother-in-law tongue, you know, lưỡi của mẹ chồng. That's why they call it mother-in-law's tongue, because it's toxic.
Dùng từ này thấy ghê gớm, thấy nói xấu mẹ chồng quá.
It's mother-in-law's tongue because of that, you know.
Mother-in-law.
We can call them snake plants. Cây rắn, because they look
Yeah.
like a snake.
Okay.
Okay, so Miss Yuan, please. Have you planted any flowers?
In fact, I used to plant and took care a lot of plants in my garden because although we live in Ho Chi Minh City, but my house like countryside because it have a lot of trees. And this
There are a
were
lot of trees because there are a lot.
there are a lot of trees, and this was my part-time job, and I have a stable wage.
Okay, so you have
Because my mother pay money for me to do that, to take care of them.
to take care of them. You mean to take care of them?
Yes.
Oh, it's a good investment.
Yes.
And money is a good incentive for a lot of things.
Yeah. Encourage.
It's a good incentive for many things. Là một cái động lực, một động cơ rất tốt để mà thúc đẩy cho nhiều thứ. It's a good incentive for many things. Nothing is free, you know.
Now I know your negative point, Yuen. You're willing to do anything that have money, that you can earn money from that.
Well, I'm sure up to the point she will not be like that once she has enough money. So, Miss Yuen, are there any flowers that have special meanings in your country?
Let me see. Oh, I think yellow flower in Lunar New Year have a special meaning for my country.
Okay.
There is a positive meaning.
Meaning as well?
They believe this will bring lucky and happy things.
Will bring luck.
Will bring lucky.
No, bring luck.
Luck.
Now.
Okay, sorry. Bring luck and happy things for everyone. But this will become a negative meaning if it doesn't bloom abundant or bloom lately in New Year. Bloom, yes.
Nở rộ. It doesn't bloom like in the exact day, you mean, of the New Year?
Yes.
Okay.
This will have a negative meaning.
I see. Mr. Yu, have you ever sent flowers to anyone? Có gửi hoa cho ai chưa?
Yeah.
Well,
Your friend.
I have never sent flower to anyone because I never go to the flower shop.
Well, you can send lavender flowers to anyone you like.
You have crush? Đó, mà hỏi Dương như vậy á, you have crush?
If you have
No.
you
No.
send a lavender flower to that person, you know.
Lavender is expensive.
I don't really have love because I have time to do my homework and it's a lot.
Come on. It's not that bad. It's not that bad, come on.
What did you say? You spend a lot of time for studying, so you don't have time for crush? You mean that?
Really bad.
No, you need to learn work and life balance. Okay?
Exactly, work-life balance is the key here. Okay, but maybe.
Nhưng mà đừng yêu đậm quá nha, yêu đậm quá là chết, cái ảnh hưởng đến học hành.
Exactly. Just you have to basically learn work-life balance. That is very important.
Okay.
So, Mr. Yu, are there any flowers that have special meanings in your country?
Let me see.
I won't let you see.
It's so hard.
Of course, it's the hardest question in flowers. Now think about, okay, so Miss Yuen told us about yellow flower already.
Yes.
Maybe you can talk about other kind of flowers.
Hình như cái hoa mai người ta có tên gọi khác là apricot flower phải không thầy John?
Hoa đào, apricot flowers.
Hoa đào. Còn cái cherry là hoa gì?
Apricot flower, I think.
Apricot như là...
This is called apricot flower. Oh, this one, blooming yellow apricot flower. This is called yellow apricot blossom.
Yellow apricot. Okay. Yellow apricot.
Yellow apricot blossom. Hoa mai. But we have other kind of apricot. This flower, other colors, you know. We have red apricot flower as well. Màu đỏ, dạng trắng. Red and white and yellow types. Anyway, let me just go to part 2 quickly. Let's go to part 2. I think 21. No, we did 34 already, or so 35 then. Let's do 35, okay? Describe an interesting conversation you had with someone. Have you done that before? Describe an interesting conversation you had with someone. Miêu tả một cuộc đàm thoại thú vị mà bạn đã có trong quá khứ với ai đó. You should say who you spoke with, bạn đã nói chuyện với ai. Where you were, bạn đã ở đâu. What the conversation was about, cuộc đàm thoại đã về cái gì. And explain why you think it was interesting. Và lại giải thích lý do tại sao bạn nghĩ cuộc đàm thoại đó là thú vị. And you have part 3 of interesting conversation. What's the most interesting conversation you have ever had? So it might sound like part 2, but it's different. Nghe có vẻ giống như part 2, nó khác nha. Cái cuộc đàm thoại thú vị nhất mà bạn đã từng có là gì? Còn cái part 2 nó là miêu tả một cuộc đàm thoại thú vị thôi, bạn đã có với người nào đó. Nó không phải là thú vị nhất. Part 2 does not ask you about the most interesting conversation. They just ask you about a random interesting conversation, okay? Không phải là cái most interesting. Nó chỉ là một cái cuộc đàm thoại thú vị chung chung thôi. In your opinion, what makes another person interesting to talk to? Theo nhận định của bạn, điều gì làm cho một cái người khác thú vị để mà nói chuyện với người đó? Điều gì làm cho một cái người trở nên thú vị để mà các bạn muốn nói chuyện với người ta? So what makes another person interesting so that you want to talk to them? Is it difficult to start a conversation with someone you don't know and why? Liệu có khó để bắt đầu một cuộc đàm thoại với một cái người mà các bạn không biết không? Tại sao? Okay, I'll give you, let's say, 2 minutes. Okay, let's get ready now. Please describe an interesting conversation that you had with someone. Miss Kui, please, can you start first? Be careful with the past tense. Past tense.
Right. I'm a social person, but I don't have much time to
socialize.
Yeah, but I don't have much time to socialize. And however, usually I talk with my friend through my phone or messenger. So the topic we have is about, we don't have any specific topic to talk.
Specific topics.
Specific. We don't have any specific topic to talk. We just chatting around our life, our life, career, or any plan.
Our life, career, and.
Sao cứ lộn từ career hoài cứ career. Okay, thầy. We usually talk about our life, career, or any plan that we have.
Okay.
I feel it was interesting because
Interesting. It was interesting.
it was interesting because we can share a lot of information while we talking about, and we feel very relaxing.
We feel very relaxed.
We felt very relaxed for every conversation we make.
Okay, anything else? Okay, that's why you think it was interesting, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now please, Mr. Yu, describe an interesting conversation you had with someone, please.
Oh, I had a conversation with my friends, but my friends, but at that time he just a stranger to me, and we start talking about games like Hunter Impact. Yes. Games, and I interesting is talking to him because he have a large knowledge about the games that I play, and his voice sound interesting. And at that time, I was at my school and I'm starting having a new friend, so I started to talk with him, and for a long time talking about game. Now we become best friends for a long time. Even we are not the same class now, but we are still the same school.
Okay. Why you think it was interesting?
I said already.
It's not convincing. Your story does not seem convincing enough. Cái câu chuyện nghe không có hấp dẫn, nó không nghe có vẻ giống như là không có giống như thuyết phục lắm. It doesn't sound very convincing.
Okay.
Anyway, so Miss Yuan, please, can you describe an interesting conversation that you had with someone?
I will tell you about my interesting conversation.
Let's go directly into the question.
Okay. I met my friend again. We used to cloning together, but she has gone abroad for a long time. So we just kept in touch. Last year, she came back to Vietnam for visiting her family and me. I could say this conversation was turning my point. We talked about
my turning point.
Yes.
Cái điểm mà
turning point.
My turning point. My turning point. Cái lúc mà tự nhiên lúc đó là mình thay đổi. My turning point.
Cái suy nghĩ á thầy, cái mục tiêu.
Exactly, that's when you turn. That's when you turn different points. That's when you change your idea. That's when you change your thinking. That is the turning point.
Yes. We talk about our life, gossip. Typically, we talk about education and quality of her life. At this time, I really wanted to have an experience like her. I want to went abroad. I wanted to go abroad. So I changed it myself. I didn't want to be lazy, and I felt and I realized I waste time and money.
I wasted time and money.
Yes, I wasted time and money. Finally, I started to learn English. So this conversation was helped me to learn a new language. and so now I have immediate
level of English now.
level. Yes, I can communicate. So I'm really proud of myself.
Okay, very good. That was an interesting conversation. Very good. Đó, nghe nó có vẻ convincing, nghe có vẻ phù hợp và nó thuyết phục hơn hẳn. Now, let's go to part 3 of interesting conversation. So, Mr. Young, please. In your opinion, what makes another person interesting to talk to?
I think it's about how they talk to each other, to another, like how can I say?
By what?
Like you talk calmly, slowly, and pretty easy to hear. But some people, they don't talk like that. Like my dad,
My
father, he talk not really. I think it's not really attractive, and it's difficult
You mean
to hear.
the way he talks is not very attractive? The way
Yes.
he talks is not really interesting?
The way he
Or it
talk
just
is
sounds blunt? Nó nghe nó cứ toạc móng heo ra, không có thú vị gì cả. It just sounds blunt. Thô thiển. Nó nghe nó thô lắm. It just sounds bluntly. Nó nghe nó toạc móng heo rồi, nó thẳng ra. Thô, khá thô. It just sounds bluntly and it does not sound sophisticated, right? Nó nghe không có tinh tế, right?
yes.
Or sometimes it can mean tinh vi nữa, tùy vào tình hình, tùy vào cái tình cảnh nói. So it doesn't sound sophisticated, but it sounds so blunt. You mean
Sophisticated. Sometimes it means sành điệu, right?
Stylish, yes, sành điệu. Stylish có phong cách. Sophisticated là tinh tế. Okay. Is that all, Mr. Yu?
Yes.
Now, so is it difficult to start a conversation with someone you don't know, and why, Mr. Yu?
I think it's maybe easy in some point, but in some time you cannot do that. But normally you still can do it, because if you start a conversation with someone, you just need to talk to them, be brave to talk to them, and speak highly, so that you can talk to each other. But for me, it's difficult because Ủa, thầy có hỏi
Because I'm what?
người hướng nội là gì thầy?
Because I'm an introvert.
Yes, I'm an introvert.
Introvert.
Introvert and extrovert. Người hướng nội và người hướng ngoại.
Extrovert.
So I'm an introvert, so it's not really easy for me to talk to anyone.
Oh, really? I am a true introvert here, and I can still start a conversation, you know? Hay là thầy hướng nội mà nguyên con nè. I'm a true introvert here, and I can still start a conversation, but I just prefer not to. So, can you continue, please, Mr. Young? Tiếp đi Dương ơi, bữa nay kém quá nha. Come on, think, Mr. Young. Come on, think. What's wrong with you today? Come on, think. Is it difficult to start a conversation with someone you don't know, and why, Mr. Young?
Hmm. Um.
What's the most interesting conversation you have ever had, Mr. Yoon?
Is the most interesting that I have is talk to my mom's
Mother.
for a long time. Not talk to her.
Talk to my mother
Because,
after a long time of not talking to her.
yes.
Yes. What else?
And talk to my friends. I've just recently talked to them
What else?
and talk to my cousin.
What about your
Uh,
cousin?
what?
Okay, fine. Miss Kui, please. So, what's the most interesting conversation you have ever had, please?
For me, almost the interesting conversation
The
is
most interesting conversation.
for me the most interesting conversations is whenever I talk to my children. Sorry. Whenever I talk to my children about their studying, their time, their studying, while we have the dinner together, while we having meal together.
Okay.
I feel very relaxed when talking with my children because the way they talk is very impressive to me and very nice, and the way they talk is very nice, naively. Ngây thơ.
Yes, the way they talk is very naive. We don't say naively, we say naive.
And the way they talk is very naive. And that makes me very surprised. When we talk, in my opinion, when we talk to the children, we can learn something from them because the way they think about life around them is very simple and very interesting. So when we talk, we didn't think too much about the difficulty and stress.
And then difficulty and
worries.
And
sự lo lắng.
worries. Yes, difficulty and worries.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's a good answer. Very good. So, Miss Yuan, please, in your opinion, what makes another person interesting to talk to? Miss Yuan, please.
I think a lot of factors to make other person interesting.
Many factors because
sorry,
many factors.
I forgot. There are a lot of factors to make other person interesting to talk. I think firstly, the people who has a sense of humor could attract many people to talk to them. Secondly, the people who are loyal and trustworthy can help everyone to share their situation in an easy way. Like they don't have a distance. They don't have a distance.
You mean they do not create a distance between them and you? You mean they do not create a gap, or they do not distance themselves?
Yes, they do not distance themselves. And thirdly, the people are hardworking and intellectual, can inspire others to do many meaningful things. So I think this is.
What do you think?
So I think this depends on their choice because this depends on many factors.
Okay, I was right. Do not distance themselves from others. They do not distance themselves from others. You can use for distance like a verb. All right.
Okay.
So that's good. That's good. Miss Quý, please? Is it difficult to start a conversation with someone you don't know, and why?
No, for me, it's not. I'm a socialized person, so if
You mean
someone
you're
is
a sociable person?
yeah, I'm a social person, so it's not difficult for me to talk if I don't know that person, because when you meet the person you don't know, you have a lot of questions to ask from the beginning time, like greeting them or asking about their career or their general thinking about life or some story we met at the first time.
First time.
Yeah, I can think a lot of questions to ask. I don't mind to make a question to the strange person. Yeah.
So you mean you don't mind?
I'm always I don't mind.
You
I don't mind.
converse with a strange person?
Yes, and I can think a lot.
You have to say no.
No.
I don't mind. No, I don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
No, I don't mind conversing with a strange person.
And I always the first person to give the question.
You mean you're always the first person to strike a conversation?
Bắt đầu hả?
Bắt chuyện. To strike a conversation with someone. Bắt chuyện với ai đâu?
Strike a conversation.
With someone.
Yes, with someone.
Conversation with someone.
Yeah, that's all from me.
Okay, that's good. Let's move on to 34. Describes a peasant's home that you visited. Oh wait, we did this one before, didn't we? Okay. Describe a time when you got close to wild animals. Miêu tả một cái thời điểm mà bạn tiến đến gần những con động vật hoang dã. When you got close to wild animals. Where you were, bạn đã từng ở đâu? What the animals were doing, mấy con động vật đó đang làm gì? Who were with you, ai đã từng ở với các bạn? Explain what your reaction was, cái phản ứng của các bạn đó là gì? And we have part 3 of wild animals. What are the differences between animals in zoos and those in the wild? Có sự khác biệt nào giữa những con động vật trong sở thú và những con ở trong thiên nhiên hoang dã? Just think about how they were treated, how they receive nutrition, medicines when they are sick. Do they receive a lot of care? Do they have their freedom? All of these factors. Do they feel happy? Chúng cảm thấy happy không? Why should the staff in the zoos teach the public about animals? Tại sao nhân viên trong sở thú phải dạy cho quần chúng nhân dân biết về những con động vật? Tại sao? Tại sao nên là dạy cho quần chúng nhân dân biết về động vật? Well, think about environmental protection. Think about like why they need to keep the animals there. Think about all the knowledge. Why are people keen on feeding pets? I mean, keen on feeding wild animals even though it's forbidden to do so. Tại sao con người ta lại rất là khoái mà feed những con động vật hoang dã trong sở thú, mặc dù là người ta cấm, nhưng điều đó là bị cấm. Even though it's forbidden to feed the animals in a zoo, why are people keen on feeding them? Don't worry about the word pets here. Cái chữ pet này bỏ đi. Why are people keen on feeding wild animals, even though it's forbidden to do so? How can the increase of the human population influence wild animals? Làm thế nào một sự gia tăng về dân số con người nó ảnh hưởng gì đến những con động vật hoang dã? Think about deforestation. Think about making homes for new population of humans. Think about destroying the environment so the wild animals do not have a place to live anymore. Think about pollution. Think about everything. You have 2 minutes to think. 2 phút bắt đầu. 2 minutes.
Conversation.
What do you mean? Cage.
Cage.
Nhớ
Okay.
A, G,
Cage.
cuối đọc là K-E-D-Z, each. Nhưng mà thực sự cái từ này đọc là cage, từ này đặc biệt. This word
Cage.
special, it's called cage, it's not kitsch, it's cage,
Okay.
cage, cage. Any other question, please?
No.
Okay, just think about it now, please. Okay, let's start now. It's too much, it's too long already. Let's start with Miss Yuen first. Can you describe a time when you got close to wild animals, please? Đọc từ từ các bạn. Just go slowly. You don't need to speak fast, remember.
Okay.
Okay. Just
So-
be careful with the verb, careful with the verbs.
Okay. So last year I went to the zoo. There were a large number of animals such as crocodile, tiger, and someone else. They are living in a cage.
Animals, you mean other kinds of animals?
Yes, another kind of animals. They were living in a cage, and their appearance were weakness. I came to there with my friend to see their situation
There,
because.
there,
Can you say again?
there, not came to there. You came there to witness the situation.
Okay, sorry.
Mhm.
I came there with my friend to see their situation because at this time we could see a lot of video and news show that many animals were treated in bad way.
In a bad way.
Yes, in a bad way. Because of this, so I thought that we went to there to donate and support them to maintain their survival.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, good. So, Mr. Young, please describe a time when you got close to wild animals, please.
So it's were so that time I was at the zoo and
And
I saw a tiger and I saw a crocodile. Yeah, it looked very scary, but at that time it's still sleeping and it don't affect anything to me.
it don't affect anything to me. Affect to? Are you sure?
Affect. I'm so sorry.
It didn't affect me. It didn't affect me.
It didn't affect me. So the zookeeper. Đúng không ta?
Yes, the zookeeper.
The zookeeper say it's time for them to eat. So he
The
let me.
zookeeper said that it was time for them to eat.
The zookeeper said
Not
it
quite
was.
yet. You're speaking too fast and too wrong. Not quite yet.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Continue, please.
It said it's time for them to eat.
It have them to.
It's time for them to eat. So he lent me his meat, and I need to throw the meat to them. It's still a barrier, so I need to throw the meat to them so them eat. And I a little bit scared, but I don't cry like
I didn't cry. I didn't cry, even though I was a little bit scared.
I wasn't scared, and I didn't cry like my other friends at this time. So it's been a nice experience to me.
Okay. Good. Miss Quý, please.
My stories is about Black Chandor Langer. I just sent a short video clip to our class.
Okay. We'll watch it later then.
Yes.
Shank Langer. Dog Langer, I think. Anyway, is it a kind of tiger? Langer. I have no idea because I'm not very good with animals. No, it's a kind of monkey. It's a kind of langer. It's basically a kind of monkey. Con vọc, right? Isn't it? Okay, please continue, Miss Queen. Your microphone was off. Miss Queen bị bận cái gì rồi? Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
please continue again.
Last year, we have a short vacation with my family to Nha Trang. We went to Ninh Iceland. We stay in there.
Island.
Island. We stay there about 5 days. So this is one of our activity to meet the black shank dog langer. This is very rare wild animal need to be protected, and one of the and in Vietnam we are one of the 4 countries have this kind of
we are one
wild
of
animal.
the country that has this kind of.
And we are one of country that have this kind of animal, wild animal. We take a short activity about 30 hours in the morning to see them. They come with a peer. Đồng bọn á thầy.
With their peers. With their peers.
P-E-E-R.
With their peers. They came with their peers.
Usually in the morning, they came with their peers down xuống núi á thầy, down the mountain to get the food.
To get food.
Yeah. To get food, and we are very lucky to. We were very lucky to have a chance to see this kind of animal. At that time, they are playing with their peers and eating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eating.
My kids were very excited and happy when they saw this kind of animal, because this is the first time for them to see it, and yes, and we are very close to them. At that time, we took a lot of photos about that.
Okay.
About them. Yeah.
Very good. Okay, let's go to part 3. So, what's the differences between animals in zoos and those in the wild? Mr. Yoon, please.
So I think at animal at the zoos, they are trainings and
they are trained.
They are trained and eat the human food. It's chế biến là gì thầy?
Sorry?
Chế biến ấy thầy.
Chế biến.
And then process the food.
And some food have processed, but in the wild, the
animals do not do that. You mean?
No, I think I just say that they eat the processed food from the human. But in the wild, they have their own instinct. And not from training. And they eat the natural food, so it looks maybe bigger than the animal in the zoo.
Mm-hmm. So you mean maybe they are stronger and bigger than animals in the zoo?
Yes.
Good. Now, so Miss Kui, please. So why should the staff in the zoos teach the public about animals? What do you think?
I think first they want to do this animal to the public, and then and then want to share to the public about the information, why they have to keep them in the zoo, and why they have to protect them. I think that's the main reason, because it's good not only for adults but also the children need to know about that kind of wild animal, and share the information or share any campaign to protect our wild animals.
Protect the wild animals, I see.
Yes.
Now, so Miss Yuen, please. Why are people keen on feeding wild animals in the zoo, even though it is forbidden to do so? What do you think?
In my point of view, I just think sometimes they go to the zoo and they see many animals starving and weakness. And the staffs in the zoo or the teacher make community outrageous. Oh, maybe my pronunciation is wrong.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
Okay.
Outrageous. They will appeal, so they must do that because they see many animals starving. But sometimes people are uncivilized, and they don't care about animal life, so they feed them a lot of harmful food just because they feel interest. They don't care about because
they feel interested in doing so.
Yes, they don't care about animal welfare.
Of course, they don't care about animal welfare at all. They just because they like to do it, not because they care about the animals.
Yes.
They don't care about animals' welfare at all. So, Mr. Yun, please, how can the increase of the human population influence wild animals? What do you think?
I think the human taking place of wild animal like forest, detect some part of the forest and need to build house and some facilities and some more like food of humans. They need more food, so it's gonna tax. So people going to be taking food from the wild animals like cows, trees, wild vegetable, and some thảo mộc là gì thầy?
Herbs. Chứ phải herbs nha. Herbs. Chữ H là âm căng. So H is silent sound. H here is silent. So herbs. And herbs. Please continue.
And if this population increasing more, they will have about the pollution, environmental pollution, and it affect very much into the wild animal, like
very much the wild animals. Không có giới từ đằng sau. Không có giới từ. There's no preposition after affect. And then it affects the wild animals a lot. Let's say
the wild animal a lot.
Anything else?
Example like Bắc Cực.
Like
no.
in the North Pole.
In the North Pole, the penguin is for turning red because the weather is been hotter.
Okay, anything else?
So it's affect very much, and some ice is broken and is melt out. That make place of polar bears
Okay.
being lost. Ta-da!
Okay, good enough. Now let's move on to the next topic of 35. Oh dear.
Can I have 1 minute break?
Yes, you can, but others don't.
Sorry, everyone. Maybe I'm not
Okay.
say goodbye to you guys.
Okay, because Miss Yuan has to go. She has family business. Anyway,
Yes,
sorry for what happened.
yes.
Okay, I'll see you then.
Okay, see
Okay,
you.
1 minute. Okay, 1 minute break.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can just have you had time to think about this one? Okay, you haven't. Okay, let's describe an interesting conversation. We did this one before. So,
Yeah.
37. Describe a time you made a promise to someone.
Promise.
Miêu tả một thời điểm mà bạn đã hứa hẹn ai đó, đã hứa ai đó. Cái gì đó? You should say what the promise was. Lời hứa đó là cái gì? To whom you made it. Bạn đã làm cái lời hứa đó với ai? Whether it was easy or difficult to keep that promise. Liệu có dễ hoặc là khó để mà giữ lời hứa đó không? Explain why you made it. Tại sao bạn lại hứa như thế? Past tense, of course. And you have part 3 of promise. What kinds of promises do people often make? Con người ta thường là hứa hẹn những cái điều như thế nào? Do parents in Vietnam make promise to their children? Những bậc cha mẹ ở Việt Nam có hứa hẹn trẻ nhỏ của họ nhiều không? Think about like when you promise children something, but then you did not keep your promises because you wanted the child to behave better. But then you promised the toys, you promised this and that, but you never really keep your promise, and then the child become really angry and they shout at you and they misbehave even more. Think about
Cứ lèo là cái gì mà break promise hả?
when you break the promise, khi mà các bạn hứa xong rồi cái phá vỡ lời hứa đó. Break the promise. When you break the promise.
Break the promise.
To break a promise. Or when you fail to keep a promise. Đã thất bại trong chuyện giữ lời hứa. Fail to keep a promise. I think it's better to say fail to keep a promise. Okay. Do children keep their promises? Trẻ nhỏ có giữ lời hứa của chúng không? Why do some people fail to keep their promises? Tại sao một số người họ lại không thành công trong chuyện mà giữ lời hứa? Think about the fact they promise just for fun. Họ hứa chỉ cho vui thôi. Think about the fact that they promise just to make people believe in something. Làm cho con người ta tin vào cái gì đó thôi. It's false belief.
False belief.
Những lòng tin mù quáng, những lòng tin mà không đúng sự thật. It's false belief. Lòng tin mù quáng. Okay, think about this one for 2 minutes, please. 2 phút bắt đầu. Okay, let's do it. Describe a time you made a promise to someone, please. Let's start with Mr. Yuan first. Past tense, be careful. Speak slowly, please, but precisely. Mr. Yuan?
Okay, so uh, I have keep much from a lot of promise.
A
But
lot of
one of
promises.
the promises, but one of the I remember is the promise with my friends about the
A promise
his
to your friends about.
to my friends about his birthday presents, and it's at that time it's easy to make, but from but some problems has happened that I have just a little bit money, and the
My
COVID is my mother and the COVID is go it start spread everywhere, so it's
It started
difficult.
to spread everywhere. It started to be a major problem.
It started to be a major problem, and if and it's very hard to find someone to buy um how can I say to to find somewhere that they sell
That they
from
sell, that they sell.
that they sell online, so it's difficult for me to buy my friend's present, but at last I still can buy it.
Okay. At last I can still buy it. Okay, good. Anything else? Explain why you made it.
So I made it because um luckily someone is selling it for me, so I can buy it.
So I could buy it.
I could buy it.
And why is it difficult or easy to keep that promise?
I remember I said it already.
Okay, good. Miss Wee, please, can you describe a time you made a promise to someone?
2 years ago, I promised with my son.
I promised to my son.
I promised to my son about the gift if he can graduate his English language learning at school.
I promised my son. I promised my son. How about
Yeah.
to?
2 years ago, I promised to my son about
Let's note to promise my son about. Sorry.
my son about his graduation on English learning language
Okay.
class at his school. The reason I make my promise because he failed many times.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, and this class is very expensive, so I promised him if he can graduate, I will give him a new guitar, which he like most, to encourage his learning.
To encourage his learning.
To encourage and
Encourage. Encourage.
To encourage his learning. He liked my promise a lot, and until now he still keep his best to win the prize from me. For me, it's not difficult to keep the promise because I always think about it very carefully before to give to the other person. I usually do the easiest way for me. For example, is in my ability or in my budget. Yeah, so for me, it's not difficult to keep.
Okay. So it's not difficult to keep. Very good. Let's go to part 3 now. So Mr. Yu, please. So what kinds of promises do people often make? Like promises about what? And what
I
kind of
think
promises?
it's more research about items or things is valuable items like presents or birthday presents. Um,
What?
Self-promise is about how can they do it? Like
They can do it. How they can do it. It's not a question.
how,
Không phải câu hỏi nha. How they can do it.
how they can do it.
Okay.
Some
Can you give examples, please?
like you finish the work that you promised. You have to do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nothing else. I just thinking like that.
All right. Now, so Miss Kui, please. So, what kind of promises do people often make? What do you think?
I think people often make a promise about gift to their partners, about vacation to their family or their relative, or about a bride. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. For example, people usually make to their children, make a promise to their children.
A promise
A promise to their children
Promise?
about toys. Promise.
Promise is a promise.
Promise.
Yeah, it's a usually make promise to their children.
For
Promise
example,
là danh từ nha, thì mới có to với từ to đằng sau, còn cái promise động từ không có với từ.
alright.
They usually make promise. So if promise is a noun, there is a prepositions promise to someone. But if you use promise like a verb, no preposition. They can usually make a promise to their children.
They usually make a promise to their children about the toy. To encourage if they can change any attitude, or if their birthday coming, or if they have a good result in the class. Yeah, that's all from me.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Yu, please. So, do children keep their promises? There are promises. Mr. Yu, please.
Yes.
Do children keep their promises?
Yeah. If is the how can I say?
Is the what?
Like kind children they usually hear the older people said what they need to do, and they really keep the promise very strictly, like me for some time. And it and from and how can I say more? And some another kid they don't really keep this. They didn't keep the promise. Like my friends, he's don't they don't really want to keep the promise with me because sometimes the promise is really difficult to them, and they say lie to me, and it's really angry about that.
This is part 3. Be careful.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Young, last question for you. Why do people fail to keep their promises? What do you think?
I think it's about the difficult of the promise. Like there's some part of the promise that they cannot do, so they cannot keep it. In some case, at some point they cannot do that, so they cannot keep it.
Okay. Right, good. Good enough. So, right, Miss Quý, what do you think? Why do some people fail to keep their promises? What do you think?
I think they fail because they just think for fun, and they are not seriously think about the result of the promise. If they break a promise, this can be affect. It can be affected to the. It can be affect to the other person. And next time, if they make a promise again, no one will believe to them. It's not a good. It's not a good thing. I think so.
It's not a good thing. Of course, it never is a good thing to make promises to people and then fail to make it. Like, for
Yes.
example, you always keep promises. Okay, I will do this, I will do that, but then you never do.
And
Then
next
it's
time
really
when
bad.
you
Of course, it's really bad. And it reduces, it basically, it harms your reputation.
Yes, it's
Cái
harm
danh
your
tiếng của bạn bị ảnh
reputation.
hưởng luôn á. It harms your reputation and it can harm your work too.
Yes.
Of course. Không có danh tiếng, không có nó ảnh hưởng đến công việc lắm luôn á. It's like anyway, so let's just end the video here then. I think we can just end the lesson here. It's already 12 and 7. So we will do on Wednesday. We should be doing writing task 2. Okay,
Task 2,
writing task 2.
not task 1.
We already done task 1, right? Did we?
No, last time we make task 2.
Okay. So on Wednesday, let's go do test 3, task 1, right? Test 3, task 1, isn't it? Isn't it?
3, yes, test 3.
Yes.
Cam 15, test 3, task 1, isn't it? On Wednesday.
Yes.
Cái từ sửa bài cam 15, test số 3, writing task 1 nha mọi người ghi trong cái group giùm thầy. Okay, I'll see you then. Bye bye. Okay, that's the end of my videos. Please like, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and press on the bell button next to the subscribe button so you can get notified about my new uploads, okay? You can also press follow my Facebook, but please don't add me on Facebook as friends, okay? Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi nha. Các bạn hãy nhấn vào like, chia sẻ video này bạn bè các bạn. Nhấn vào nút đăng ký kênh YouTube mình và nút cái chuông kế bên cạnh để đăng ký kênh á, để mà các bạn sẽ được thông báo về những video mới nha. Các bạn cũng có thể nhấn vào nút theo dõi Facebook mình nhưng nhớ đừng kết bạn Facebook mình nha. Thank you and see you. Bye.